whether we like it or not. Brexit is happening, only a matter of a few days away. The question is, okay, well, what do we do now? Bemoaning what's happened and feeling thoroughly depressed for the next how many ever years is one option, but it's not an option that I particularly want to embrace. So I think we've got to shift mentally. And we've got to ask ourselves as a nation, right, okay, what do we do now? What I've set out in the speech, of course, is, well, look, here are some of the economic levers that we must demand for Wales if we're able to actually shield us from some of the worst negative effects potentially, but also give us some opportunity for closing the economic gap. We're talking about potentially cutting the income tax rate in Wales by up to 3p, doing it in a way which is socially progressive by shifting the tax burden over to a single property tax, doing that in a way that generates revenue. Cutting income tax, raising the education expenditure massively by 300 million. That's about 10% real terms increase overnight, and introducing a Welsh child payment, which at £35 a week would take tens of thousands of children out of poverty overnight. These are big ideas with big impacts, but that's what politics needs now. The idea of tinkering at the edges and having little tiny initiatives which make no difference at all to people's lives, that has gone. Even though this is the capital city and in some ways economically does better than some parts of the UK, I can take you less than a mile from where we're standing to Butetown, which has around about 46% of its children living in poverty. And so we may see one side of Cardiff, which is a very relatively affluent city, but this city has some of the worst pockets of poverty of any part of Wales. The life expectancy difference between the richer parts of Cardiff and the poorer parts of Cardiff are some of the widest in the whole of Wales. The Welsh child payment that I talked about, many of the families that would benefit from that reside in this city, so it'll have a transformational effect. I mean, I speak as somebody that I've experienced poverty. I was on free school meals, etc. in the 1980s, and I was one of the lucky ones. I got a free grant to go to university, so education was the route out of poverty for me. I believe, and every conversation that I'm having at the moment tells me that this is going to be a breakthrough moment in Welsh politics. I think that all the elements are coming together, and there's a desire out there for big change, for meaningful change. And we've had 20 years of a Labour government, which despite good intentions in some ways, hasn't delivered on the great aspirations that were set there at the beginning of devolution. And I think that unless we have that breakthrough moment, then I think people will start to lose faith. But I think they'll start to lose faith in this building, in our devolution system here in Wales, in our Welsh Parliament, unless we can show to people, look, it's not just all talk. We're going to change the lives of our people in Wales.